Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Games and Things. OurGameRoom.com is where you can learn more about them. If you're hoping to build an entertainment room or a man cave, then go to the Ultimate Man Cave store. Of course, that's where you'd go. Games and Things. They're at the corner of Lovell Road and Kingston Pike, and I promise you, nobody has a showroom like these folks. You're going to go in there, you're going to try out some of these home theater seats, some of these bar stools, you're going to look at the poker tables, you're going to look at the pool tables, and then you're going to look at your watch and realize you've been there 3 hours, and you do not want to leave. It's a great locally owned business, folks. Games and Things. Check them out. All right, Tennessee and Florida are both 2-1, but boy, they got there in different ways. The Gators have beaten Florida Atlantic, South Florida, and they lost by 2, 31-29 to number 1 Alabama yesterday. Second time in a row they've given Bama all they wanted. Took them to the wire last year in the SEC title game. The Vols have beaten Bowling Green, Tennessee Tech, and they lost to Pittsburgh, who lost to Western Michigan yesterday. We're going to put up some stats now. You can compare on the left side of Tennessee and Florida offensive comparisons. Some of the yellow stuff are just where one team has an advantage, something to pay special attention to. On the right, it's the two defenses compared to each other. That's wallpaper. You can look at it as we discussed. Gentlemen, so many times, Florida's won 15 of the last 16 in this matchup. So many times it comes down to the run game. I have a feeling this week it's going to be all about the run game again. I think Florida's going to run on you, and I don't know that you're going to be able to run on Florida. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Tennessee versus Florida?
After watching the game yesterday, the best thing I thought could happen to Tennessee was Alabama goes in there, beats them bad, third down, and maybe you can go in there and it looks like a more even game going in. I just, when that game was over yesterday, I had no thought that Tennessee's going to go down there and play with these guys. I mean, you know, that may be too negative. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, at this point right now, with you have a rushing game that Florida's strong at. The problem is your time of possession is really going to hurt you in this game. Mm-hmm. If you're not putting up points, then Florida coming back out in the field in the third and fourth quarter with this defense, that's when it's going to be 7 yards a carry, 7 yards a carry, 8 yards a carry.
Well, you saw them wear down against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
When Pitt ran 80
right.
someplace. Yeah.
So that's going to be your big issue in this game, and that's why I don't give you a lot of shot there.
If you run for 245 yards against Alabama's defense, you got a really good running attack. And Dan Mullen uses the quarterback a lot in the run game, but the running backs were also effective as well. So I think it's going to be a great challenge for Tennessee. Look, one of the things that's impressed me most about Tennessee so far has been their run defense, but they haven't faced a running attack like Florida's, and they haven't faced a quarterback that can run like Emory Jones or Anthony Richardson if he's going to play doing back fix and whatever he does before game. But I just think it's going to be very difficult for Tennessee to shut down the run game. If you can do that against Alabama, I would think you could do it against Tennessee.
Totally agree. Both teams, both offenses, it's very clear. The coach wants to run with the quarterback. Which team has been better at that so far? And which team has faced tougher competition? It's Florida. So looking at what Tennessee's done, now they're going to have to face tougher athletes. They're going to have to do it on the road at night, where Florida's going to say, hey, let's come back and build off what we just did. That would be my expectation at least. So knowing the identity, at least of what we've seen with the two offenses, I think they're pretty close in what they want to do. Florida's just to this point done it much better.
You look at Alabama, and let's say that Alabama is not as good as everybody thought they were.
Still darn good.
You have not played anybody like that, and Florida handled them up front on both sides of the ball. And that's what gets me. Let's say Alabama's not number 1. Let's say they're number 6. Okay, who have you played?
Tennessee Tech.
I mean,
well, the thing that I dread this week, and you're going to hear it, and we're not going to throw any names out, but we're all going to sit here and know there are people that I'm talking about. You're going to hear this week that, hey, you're just as talented as Florida. There's no reason. You just haven't put it all together yet. This is the week you put it all together. And it's going to get people fired up, and then they're going to be extra mad come Saturday when Florida kicks your tail all over. It's going to be, Heupel blew it because we've got as much talent. And these people that are going to be saying that don't realize that they're actually making it harder by making the expectations lower.
There's a hope
higher,
there's a hope that there's a letdown after playing Alabama. That is a hope.
But maybe you feel better because you played them so close, as you and I said.
So then you're overconfident.
Divided team. Yeah. Half of them's overconfident, half of them are down. Yeah. You got to wiggle into that crack.
Well, it seems to me if you're looking for Tennessee to win, and they can win, anything can happen, but you're going to need your special team scores.
Yep.
You're going to need Emory Jones. He's been through. You saw the stats there. He throws a lot of picks. You're going to need him to throw you a couple picks, and you're going to have to hit on a couple of your deep balls. In other words, you need anything and everything to go your way. And how many times has that ever happened for Florida in the swamp?
And you have to get a distance in points above Florida that they can't keep running the ball. And that's
Right.
going to be your issue, right? Because you have to have a 3-touchdown advantage, and they have to say, we can't run it because we're going to run out of clock. If you don't, then they're just going to pound the rock, and it's going to be the same thing. Your defense is going to be so long on the field, they're going to wear down.
It's possible. Anything's possible. But it ain't likely. All right. Hopefully we'll be. I'll tell you what. Can you find some crow and cook it next week if we're all wrong and Tennessee
Oh, my
wins?
goodness, yes.
Can you find one? You've got a freezer full of crow right now. Bob, thanks for being here today. When we come back, we'll do rapid fire topics. Pitt's loss to Western Michigan, Tennessee's running backs, Byron Young as a pass rusher, and Josh Heupel's career trajectory. All next. Come on back.